Thursday to everybody out there. For those that got the honor of having a short week this week, it is nice that it's already Thursday. So welcome in to the Anthony Gargano Show. I am obviously not Anthony Gargano. I am Jamie Lynch, back in today and tomorrow after John Marks carried the torch yesterday very admirably. It's an honor to be in here with you, and lots to get into today as we have our normal cast of characters with us. Andrew Frazier, Greg the Greek, VG, whatever you want to call him, and of course JP, which we'll get to in a little bit. But the presenting sponsor right off the top here is our friends over at Rite Aid. The show is brought to you by Rite Aid, your neighborhood pharmacy. Visit your local Rite Aid today. Stock up on allergy relief. I know some people are out there struggling today. Catch up on immunizations for RSV, shingles, and more. Walk in or schedule an appointment or vaccine appointment at riteaid.com. Yesterday, we got the free car wash with a little downpour of rain. At least out by me, it was pouring. But before that, the car was covered in pollen. So I know the allergy sufferers are going through it right now. So Rite Aid's got you covered there. I am seemingly getting better with allergies as I get older, which is weird. Because I used to be right there with you, and this year has not been that bad on me. All right, lots to get into today. The story of the morning is obviously the Phillies salvaging a West Coast trip yesterday because the difference between a 2-4 road trip and a 1-5 road trip is completely like night and day to me. If you came back home after a 1-5 road trip, it would have a real sour taste in the mouth, especially with the off day today. You would just kind of hate it. You would be waiting for tomorrow night just to get that taste out of your mouth. But they salvaged one yesterday on getaway day. My stance yesterday on the Phillies show, which is coming up at 11 o'clock today with Renee and Tyler, was that you should just demolish Oracle Park because it's unfair. It's a crooked system. The Phillies can't play there. But yesterday in the day game, and I think it was Tom McCarthy made the point on the Castellanos home run, or maybe it was Rube, I can't remember, the difference of night and day in that stadium. And it's something we'll talk to Jim Salisbury about as he's going to join the show coming up at 9:30 today. And then 10 o'clock, my man Bill Matz, who I've never actually got to sit behind a microphone with, is going to join us here in studio. So really looking forward to that. But Jim Salisbury, I'm going to ask, the difference of night and day there seems to be pretty remarkable. I think it was Rube that said, that Castellanos ball really carried. That's one that might not get out at nighttime here with the marine layer. So it's just an unfair, crooked MLB stadium that should be demolished, and they should start over. It's a hideous eyesore on the city of San Francisco, and they should just move on. It's had its run, 24 years now. Time to close Oracle Park down and build something new. And if you don't know me, I am a completely unserious person. I mean none of that. It's a gorgeous stadium. One of the nicest, actually, stadium food items I've ever come across there. I was telling Renee yesterday about the Gilroy garlic fries. Woo! Tremendous. Gilroy, the garlic capital of the country. But let's get into what's poppin'. And what's poppin' is the Phillies. And what's poppin' is brought to you by our friends over at Olipop. I had the watermelon lime yesterday with my lunch. Quite tasty. We're popping off with Olipop. Find your favorite Olipop flavor at your nearest Wawa. And those are in the express coolers. When you walk into Wawa, you might not see them in the normal fridge, but like that pre-made sandwich section up front there, the little express section is where you'll find your Olipops. What's popping off is the Phillies are very good at baseball. There's no need to panic. The Phillies left for this West Coast trip, which optically eye test stunk. It was sloppy bad baseball, untimely hitting, just kind of the worst Phillies baseball we've seen since those first two series of the year. And they ended at 2-4. They left up 6 games in the NL East. They come home up 6 games in the NL East. So as bad as that felt, no harm, no foul. No damage was done. The Phillies still have the lead. 2-4, big win yesterday. It was nice to see Castellanos get the home run there. Hopefully that's something he can carry back home with him. He has been hitting the ball harder lately, which is a really good sign with him. And Whit Merrifield, who some were calling, it's mean, but I'm going to say it. Some people online have been calling him shit Merrifield. Hit the ball hard yesterday and almost had a home run. And it's probably a home run in a lot of stadiums. and then he immediately makes a mistake. So that was good to see. But the story of the day, what's really popping off, was Bryce Harper was having an angry day. Bryce Harper was fired up yesterday. It started in the first inning after a strikeout and a misplay at the first base, and then he took the bat to the dugout. Apparently went down the tunnel to blow off some steam, and then he comes back up later in the game, and he gets 2 pitches inside and high. The first one, he steps out of the box and screams at the pitcher, "Don't you effing throw at me." The next pitch, which I do think the kid genuinely just missed on, again, high and inside. The Phillies, pour out of the dugout there. Bryce Harper looked like, this guy really just did that, huh? Do I have to go fight this kid? He didn't. He stood there. It was a pretty lame benches clearing situation. The bullpens came in. I do think Gregory Soto got a shove in, so let's mark Gregory Soto up for 1 point there in terms of being a good teammate. Gregory Soto will come throw some knuckles like that. But all in all, it was a pretty stupid baseball benches clearing situation. But nonetheless, the Phillies get the win in big part to Christopher Sanchez. And the Phillies offense has been great. At points leading the league in home runs. I don't know if Jose Ramirez has pushed the Guardians past them or not. I didn't look this morning. But leading, Alec Boehm is up there in RBIs. Bryce Harper's up there in RBIs. Kyle Schwarber's having a pretty tremendous year, and it's not even June yet. So, a lot of good things are happening offensively. The bullpen has been pretty stellar for the most part. Sir Anthony's even looked better these last couple games. But the real reason this team is dominating is the starting rotation. And Christopher Sanchez went out there yesterday in a spot you needed him because, you wanted to come home with that good taste in your mouth. And Christopher Sanchez helped you get there. He is now 9th in the National League in terms of ERA with a 2.83 ERA. Looking up some of the advanced analytics on Christopher Sanchez, who is their 4th starter, most teams would kill for a guy like this in their 4 spot. He's not getting barreled at all. Like, his stuff is deceiving hitters. Hard hit rate, he's extremely low. Barrel percentage, he's extremely low. I believe he doesn't even have a ball hit off of him over 100 miles an hour yet. He's allowed 1 home run. Christopher Sanchez is quietly becoming, the stabilizing force of this team's dominance because you expect it from Zach, you expect it from Aaron, now you expect it from Ranger. If you have that 4th guy that bridges you to Taijuan Walker, that is a extreme luxury to have. So in terms of National League ERA rankings, I've been calling for the downfall of Shota Imanaga, not because I dislike him, but just because I love Rangers so much. Well, it finally happened. Shota Imanaga allowed 7 earned runs yesterday in his start, which bumped our sweet boy Ranger up to number 1 in the National League in terms of ERA. So far, Rangers number 1, and JP, we'll bring you in here in a second to tell me if this is good, but I believe this is good. Ranger Suarez, number 1 in National League ERA. Number 5 in National League ERA. Zach Wheeler with a 2.32. Number 9 in National League ERA. Christopher Sanchez with a 2.83. And ho-hum, number 13 in the National League. Aaron Nola with a 3.04. You couple Aaron Nola's 3.04 with the fact he's thrown the most innings in Major League Baseball since 2022, and he's gone the deepest in those games of all starters since 2022. You pair that together, and you got a damn good pitcher as your number 2. You have a definite Cy Young candidate as your number 1 and number 3 right now. So, as frustrating as that road trip could have looked, things are really good still, and they're coming back home now to take on the Cardinals. Now, JP, is that good to have 4 of your 4/5 of your rotation in the top 13 in National League ERA?
I think it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it seems pretty good. But that was a really big win yesterday.
Dude.
To go 2-4 and as opposed to 1-5. That's huge. It's only 1 game, but you really gave up no blood in the National League East lead.
Right.
And Christopher Sanchez went out there and, he had a little bit of a hiccup, like his 5th and 6th starts of the year, but he's back now to 2 really good starts in a row. he's been phenomenal for this team this year. He's a big part of why they're so dominant.
Yeah, no, like obviously like this whole rotation's been the story for the Phillies thus far this season. But I just go back to when we had LA on the show. And, you know, a couple weeks ago I talked about
LA's the best.
LA is the best. But a couple weeks ago I did talk to Cuz about Christopher Sanchez. And like his like come up, his trajectory, it reminds me a lot of Ranger Suarez because like if you remember, we used Christopher Sanchez kind of like in a hybrid like bullpen. You obviously he'd be like in that starting in that bullpen game type of situation. And now if you're Topper, like you trust Christopher Sanchez out on the start. And look at what he's doing for you right now. You talked about the ERA. It's absolutely phenomenal what he's doing. He's great at fielding, but he's feeling himself. He's finding his way here within the starting lineup. And it's great to see it. I mean, like we talked about the bullpen, right? We haven't seen them a lot. What do we know exactly from this bullpen? Well, when your pitchers are going at least 7 deep on every single start, I mean, do we really need that bullpen? But it's good to see. It's good to see Christopher Sanchez being a part of the starting lineup.
Yeah, I think he was hitting 97, 98 miles an hour yesterday in the 6th inning. Like this guy throws velocity, some. Man. Yeah, he throws some gas. His changeup is one of the most unhittable balls in the major leagues this year. He has quietly been like a tremendous, and of course, I think majority of Phillies fans liked him last year, but it was one of those things where you're like, all right, I need to see it again to like really buy in. Ranger had kind of been there because of the postseason like success and just like coolness that he plays with. But Christopher Sanchez, I think, is legitimately a good pitcher. I don't think this is a flash in the pan scenario. I think this guy's got stuff. I mean, his breaking ball dives, his changeup is filthy, and he throws some gas too. And a little bit like he's not as cool as Ranger because I don't think anybody is in Major League Baseball.
But he's got a little bit of that demeanor where like nothing bothers him.
Yeah, he has a very calm demeanor on the mound. Same type of thing. So really, really great stuff. JP, I don't know on another Phillies note if there's been a more Philadelphian type of player than Bryce Harper. This guy plays the game like, of course he's great as a player. He plays the game like every hoagie mouth in Philadelphia that has ever watched Phillies baseball wants their players to play. He got ejected last Friday, his 21st career ejection, the most in Major League Baseball by almost 3 times. I think the second place is 8. He plays tough. He plays hard. He's exactly what Philadelphians want in a baseball player. He's got that Chase Utley kind of just like grittiness to him while being a superstar. It's exactly what you want to see, coupled with the skill that he has. It really, really just kind of want to throw some bouquets at Bryce because I love the passion in which he plays with. Like he shouldn't have been ejected. Stupid umpire 120, who again was the I believe he's the second worst graded umpire in Major League Baseball this year. Had a horrible game last night. And he only had an 84% correct call rate, which was I think really, really bad this year. Yeah. Bryce Harper's just the most Philadelphian baseball player. He's perfectly molded for this town.
Yeah, you're spot on, man. And obviously, like, he's a superstar. So that's like the extra part about it. That he's one of the best players in baseball. But dude, he panders to us, man. Like even like something as little,
eat it up.
Yeah, something as little as like wearing like the Fanatics cleats, right? Like that gets us all giddy. Yeah, I saw the video. It was like 2 years ago where he's trading the hat with the kid in the stands. Mm-hmm. He wanted the snap.
That was after another eject. Oh, I was thinking the helmet.
Nah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That was another ejection.
Yeah. he trades the hat with, and like that. That's the type of things that we love here in Philadelphia. Like he gets the DNA of what it is to being a Philadelphian, and he shows it out there every single game he's out there. I mean, listen, that ejection yesterday. I get it. I mean, like, listen, no one wants to get a ball thrown at them, especially like if you're Bryce Harper. Remember the Snell situation last year where it pretty much knocked him out for a third of the season. So you definitely get a little worried if you are Bryce Harper. But I guess the question is, Jamie Lynch, which brawl was better? This one from yesterday or the 2011 with our boy Shane Victorino versus Eli?
Shane jumping on that guy's back was definitely better. Yesterday they were like tickle fighting and blowing kisses at each other. That wasn't literally. That was a pathetic benches clearing. If you're like Bryce was justified to charge the mound yesterday, mistake or not. Like this is my kind of caveman take. You know, everybody has like their old man yell at cloud take or their caveman take. My caveman take is fighting in baseball is awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a self-police sport. We'll talk to Bill about this because hockey is the only thing where it's still accepted, and it's
Right.
still not the same as it was even 10, 15 years ago. Because, look, as a society, we're getting smarter about player safety and
For
health
sure.
and all that.
CTs are a real thing.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm all for prevention. That being said, nothing better in sports than when a batter charges the mound.
They used to
Oh,
have a
for
video
sure.
game that you could do it, where you could actually fight.
Oh,
There was
yeah?
an
Oh,
MLB
really?
game where you could actually like charge the mound and fight the pitcher.
I don't know what it is. I am a caveman when it comes to this take. I love it. I don't know. There's
Yeah.
something about like the game policing itself, the teammates having your back. Like,
Dude,
I don't
our-
know. I enjoy it.
Dude, our dugout came out so quick. And then the Giants were like, we really about to do this
have
on,
to-
on a Wednesday afternoon?
It's
guys?"
getaway day, guys. We got to hit the road. You're going back home.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting right now.
But dude, our team, we were right there ready for that, for whatever was about to happen. Obviously, we're not going to have like a full-on 80s brawl.
It would be
but-
cool.
For sure. A couple of punches.
I'm not saying Juan Marichal pull out the bats, but, you know, a couple fake baseball punches
The hell
never hurt
bit me.
anyone. But I think it speaks to this team. And, like, it almost seems like cohesiveness-wise over these last 3 years, it's been, like, a little too good to be true because you have the proper mix of, like, young guys that have come up through the system. Then you have the high-paid superstars. And then you have a lot of like scrap heap guys in the bullpen that have turned into really nice careers. So it's like it's a melding pot of a lot of things, and their cohesiveness has just been like remarkable. And I heard Kyle Schwarber in spring training talking about Rob Thompson, and he's like the best thing I can say about a manager is that everybody in that dugout would jump over the railing in a second to defend him. And you kind of saw that with Bryce yesterday too. And I think the point is, they have it for every single guy on that team.
Yeah.
I think that's a real credit to Kyle Schwarber, who's probably the leader of this team.
For sure.
Bryce Harper is definitely up there because you saw the reaction, as you pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a huge credit to Rob Thompson kind of being the steward of that clubhouse. The baseball manager's toughest job over the course of a year is the clubhouse atmosphere. Next is probably managing a bullpen and making the right decisions. Outside of that, like you got to trust your players to go play the game. So I think Rob Thompson, from a locker room gelling cohesiveness, is just like he's aces.
He knows what to do. He knows,
Yeah, this team is tight, man.
He knows exactly what to do. And like obviously this team, you have some high paid guys, right? But this team was built together so well that these guys are a cohesive unit. That's so important. Obviously, in baseball, you have to spend the money, but it's still a sport, right? You still need good team chemistry, and they're getting that. And like, you know, we talked about it throughout the week. You know, people are upset with Nick Castellanos. People are going to want, there's fan base, there's a contingency that wants to trade him away.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, no, definitely good luck. But like, I mean, James, like Nick is also really important for that dugout, that clubhouse vibe, and just the cohesiveness as well. And oh, by the way, yesterday he goes 3 for 5 too. We were talking about benching him yesterday. He had a solid game too. But like everyone is so important for what we're trying to build and what we're trying to do for the rest of the season. So it's fun to watch all these guys just feeding off each other and having a good time. It's a game at the end of the day. They're having fun doing it.
Yeah, it really is. And Nick Castellanos, obviously great to get that ball carry out yesterday. Right off the top of the glove there, barely got out. But, that's hopefully something he can build on and carry through. We had the discussion yesterday of, has the Castellanos signing been bad? And I'm not there yet. It's definitely trending in that direction.
Right.
But Nick had, some career highs last year, and he looked a little bit like his old self. The first year, probably a little bit more down than up. But he's a guy that you need because, like you said, you're not going to trade him. You're not going to eat money and give away prospects to unload them. You're going to kind of go down with the ship, for the lack of a better term here. So the only real option is that Nick Castellanos figures it out. And you have been seeing over the last 2 weeks some harder hit balls from him.
For sure.
So hopefully that's something he brings back home with him. Hopefully Liam gets up here full time and he turns the corner and this guy was an all-star last year. So when things are great, you kind of nitpick people. And right now, Taijuan Walker and Nick Castellanos are the guys that are going to get nitpicked. And that's the life of a Philadelphia athlete.
I mean, you hit it perfectly yesterday. unbutton one of those
Yeah,
buttons.
get a
Man,
little slutty out there. Come on.
Is the Liam effect a real thing?
dude.
He lives in Florida part-time with his mom, but I think he's homeschooled. And why I know all this, I don't know. Probably just because I read too
I
much
think
Philly
Mrs.
stuff.
Cassian, the mom, talked about that.
Yeah, I think she did. And
Mrs. Cassian
I'm hoping he
was-
comes up here for the summer, like once schooling is over.
But he definitely plays better with Liam in
It
the
feels
park.
like it, doesn't it? Like the connection they have and like giving pounds before. Maybe it puts his mind
We'll have to
at
see,
a
man.
calm.
At ease, yeah.
My wife used to come to our softball games, and I was a pretty solid softball player. Not like great by any means, but left center fielder, heart of the order kind of
Oh
guy.
yeah, there you go.
And I would play pretty well, and then my wife would come, and I would like strike out.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, babe,
that
I
effect
swear,
is
like
real.
I'm not like inept. Like I'm okay. You came and I folded. So maybe Nick's the opposite with Liam there. It calms him down, and we'll see. But the Phillies coming back home now. No blood given up in the NL East.
Cardinals also did just beat the Reds yesterday, but they also won that series too. So we'll see if they got a little mojo coming down here. in Philly.
and we will absolutely take a moment today to laugh at the Mets.
oh,
Should we just do it right now? Should we all take a moment to just laugh at the Mets?
I love the Mets, man.
Yeah. Jorge Lopez yesterday. This was just great. He leaves the game. He gets ejected. He throws his glove into the stands, and he proceeds to go to the locker room to the media scrum and basically says, "We're the worst bleeping team in the major leagues."
Does he know about the Miami Marlins?
I think he just means it feels like it.
For sure.
Right after he made those comments, I want to say about an hour and a half later, he was DFA'd. So Jorge Lopez has had some levels of success in this league. I wonder if Dave Dombrowski and Sam Fold this
Dude.
morning are going,
How funny would that be, though, James? He comes here, comes like a solid bullpen.
it would be awesome. I mean, I saw a tweet yesterday. I don't know who said it. It's just I'm too online, so I just see all these tweets and it like,
You're like
Yeah.
VG.
yeah, way too online. One of the tweets said basically like, you better go get Lopez before Alex Anthopoulos and the Braves turn him into a guy with
For
a
sure.
1.2 ERA the rest of the year that you have to see in the playoffs. So I'll ask Jim about it. I wonder because he has had some success in this league and he's free.
Right.
And you always want to add bullpen arms. So like, why not? Bring them on in. But the Mets lose again in hilarious fashion. Not that you cheer for injuries ever because that's bad vibes and juju.
Oh, for sure.
But Pete Alonso took another one on the hand yesterday, getting some x-rays. It feels like he breaks his hand every year.
Right.
And I kind of hate Pete Alonso, but I don't wish injury on him, obviously. Like that whole home run derby thing a couple years ago where he was getting his weightlifting in. Like, chill out, dude. Like, relax. You getting your pump on? So he
is kind of a tool, but yeah.
he might have broken his hand yesterday, and he was going to get traded most likely. He still
Right.
probably will, depending on the severity of the injury. But the Mets, like, not even being able to sell off properly would bring me a lot of joy. It would make me quite happy.
You think Cohen's second guessing this?
It hasn't been good under him.
No.
And I'll raise my hand. When Steve Cohen took over the ownership of the Mets, I was
Same.
a little bit terrified
For
of
sure.
how they were going to go spend their money. And they have spent the most in baseball this year and unsuccessfully. And it's pretty great.
It's what we just talked about, dude. Like obviously you have to spend money in the sport, but you got to spend it smart. And the Phillies have been able to spend the money and bring in players that just fit. And this clubhouse, everyone just they're just feeding off of each other. And the Mets, they just threw money to everyone. Here, you want to play for the Mets? Here, you get some money. Everyone gets a money bag.
Yeah, it's kind of unbelievable how much money they're wasting. I mean, they paid money to Scherzer and Verlander just to go away.
Oh my God, yeah.
So the Mets total team payroll this year is almost $308 million. The Phillies are at 244, which is fourth. But the Mets are ahead of the Yankees. Yankees have seen a lot of success in return on their investments, but they just came out last week, Hank Steinbrenner, and said basically we can't sustain this level of paying for the future. So, bunch of broke boys around MLB, and here's John Middleton throwing around cigar money, opening new Dominican academies yesterday, which was
Saw that.
really cool to see. So if you didn't see it, the Dominican Academy renamed some fields yesterday at the Phillies complex. Juan Samuel got a field named after him.
Yes.
Bobby Abreu, yeah,
Your boy.
gets a field named after him. And the nearest and dearest to all of our hearts, Senor Octobre, Carlos Ruiz gets a field named after him. Always love to see Chooch. So very cool thing for the Phillies yesterday
I
to
love
have
seeing
that.
that because, like, listen, you know me, I'm an annoyingly proud Latino, and like, you know, I miss the days of having a bunch of Latinos in the lineup only because of the walk-up song. When I hear that dembow reggaeton, I'm like,
your hips just start flaring.
Yeah,
I get it.
I gotta miss that. I get it a little bit with that. Well, Edmundo Sosa, did he change it? Because he had the B words love Sosa for a little bit with the clean edition.
I have to admit, I am almost numb or mute to walk-up songs anymore.
I get it.
Some people know
Even Bryson.
Oh, well, that
Living in
one
a
my
big
girls
blue
love.
world.
Yeah,
Oh,
so we
that's
listen to
awesome,
that
dude.
all the time.
It's a
That
great
one I
one.
got. But like Bryce Harper changes his in game.
Yeah.
Like one's like a rotate. He always starts with like, what is it, Moby? And then the second one's like a hot country song. And then the third one's something different. And like, I just can't keep up anymore. He puts so much effort into his showmanship. I appreciate it. I'm not ripping him for it. But like,
That's why everyone loves
I like
Bryson.
Schwarber with the hip hop. You know,
is he a hip hop? See, like I didn't even know.
Is it Gangster's Paradise he had?
I think so.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good, man.
Yeah.
It's good. Nick Castellanos is also a good one.
We all silly like the mayor.